Hello, everyone, and welcome to Module 13, our final module before the capstone and the conclusion of the course. I want to go over a few things with you just to make sure that we're clear on expectations and, more importantly, the vision behind the capstone, which you should have made significant progress on, given that work week 2 occurred just a couple of weeks ago with no additional content. So you could just focus on your topic, your theme of interest, finding some literature in the area that's of interest to you for your capstone. So let's talk a little bit more about the guidance and requirements for that, as well as how we're going to wrap up the last few assignments for the course. Okay, so here we are on the course website, and let's navigate to work week 2. In work week 2, I provided quite a lot of extensive information about the vision behind the capstone project. So let's walk through this together just to be absolutely certain that it's crystal clear to you what we're looking for. This, the spirit of this is like a TED Talk. I hesitate in saying that because I don't want people to feel like it has to be super animated or scripted, very rehearsed. I want it to be authentic and in your voice. That being said, if you're a person who would feel much more comfortable writing out your entire script and reading it on a prompter, and you don't appear at all in the video, that's totally okay. We want it to be something that you're proud of and you're comfortable with. And this should be a much shorter rendition. We're not looking for 18 minutes. In fact, we're only looking for 3 to 5 minutes for your entire talk. Now, that sounds like a simple task, but keeping something that concise really requires a lot of prep work on your end. That's why we gave you an entire week to do nothing but focus on your capstone. So hopefully, as we're rounding out the course, you feel like in the next few days, it's very doable to finish this 3 to 5 minute video and have something that you're proud of. So you will be distilling complex concepts into concise and compelling narratives that will resonate not just with scientists and peers in this class, but with a general audience. And this should be a familiar theme to you, as that's technically what we've been trying to do all semester long, is distill complex information into smaller and smaller bits, like in the journal club, for instance. So the talk should embody the essence of TED, meaning that it's an idea worth spreading, pondering, sharing with others, talking about. Okay, so this will be due April 14th. In another section, it said April 12th. Don't worry, you get the extra 2 days. This is due April 14th by 11:59 p.m. Eastern, and that's important because it provides me sufficient time to then import all of these 200 videos into perusal. You will not have 200 videos to watch. You will only have a subset of these videos. And remember, they're only 3 to 5 minutes. If you had to watch, let's say, 5 videos, it's just 25 minutes of content. Okay. So that being said, just keep in mind that your video will be shared with your peers in your supportive peer groups. So be kind to one another and just be cognizant of that. And we'll, of course, be assessing them as well. Okay, so it's really important that you read this if you haven't already. It was required reading in the Work Week 2 module. Why are we asking you to present in this course? And this feature in Nature describes some really compelling reasons why presentations are so important in the sciences and how these skills can benefit you. So if you haven't read this already, please read this so that you come into the exercise with the right frame of mind. Next is how to give a TED Talk. And even though we're not giving TED Talks in this class, the reason why I highlighted this is there are a lot of parallels here. So I just want to walk through this a little bit with you so we can see where are the parallels with the course. Again, there are time constraints. So we want short chunks because an audience is good at focusing on one subject at a time in short. Again, instead of 18 minutes, it should be no less than 3, no more than 5. If it's more than 5, I'm sorry, we're not going to watch beyond 5 points. And in part, it's because they've stated here, it may only take 5 minutes to make your point unforgettably. Develop a good idea. So again, hopefully the scaffolding of that reflection, that short written assignment where you justified your topic helped you to tackle this already. Is your idea new? Is it interesting? Is it factual and realistic? So the reason that I've invited you to think about this in the context of the general audience is so that you can approach items 1 and 2 here with the right frame of mind and perspective. And then being factual and realistic, this is where your scientific articles come into play. You've already, in the scaffolding exercise, talked about 3 articles. What was the bottom line? What was the takeaway? How would you integrate it into the talk? So you only need 2 more, right? And this gets to the point of being factual and realistic. We want things to be evidence-based here, not just opinion. All right, so it must be backed up by data and peer reviewed. You're presenting a call to action, make sure it can be executed by members of your audience. That being said, if you want to talk about policies that might be evidence-based or things that we can do on a day-to-day basis to improve something, that's awesome. This is an excellent piece of advice. You can ask somebody you respect who's not in your field if these areas have been appropriately represented in your talk for some feedback. It's always a great idea. Third piece of advice that also resonates with this course is make an outline and a script. You want to start by making your audience care. Use a relatable example or intriguing idea. Absolutely, that has parallels in this course. Explain your idea clearly and with conviction. And you don't have to be super animated to do that, but it does require that you put some thought into your presentation and your talk. Describe the evidence. Again, that's the scientific literature. End by addressing how your idea could affect your audience if they were to accept it. Your primary goal is to communicate effectively. These are tools, not an end in themselves. I would argue that we are telling a story here, perhaps not evoking emotions, but we are telling a story. So this is something where there's not a direct parallel to the course. We are trying to communicate an idea effectively, but I would argue and make the case that that entails a story that we're trying to tell ultimately. Okay, next, a strong introduction. Get your idea out as quickly as possible. Don't open with a string of statistics. All of that is relevant, I think. Make a list of the evidence you want to use. Again, that's something that we've done in the course already. And this should be based on what a person needs to know before they can understand the next point, from least to most exciting. Then they say you can cut out everything you can without losing the integrity of your argument. It's a great point because you only have 3 to 5 minutes to do this video. And I think that this is excellent advice. Spend more time on new information. If you need something reiterated in 3 to 5 minutes, make it brief and possibly think of how you can restate the same point, but in a slightly different way. Controversies can be great. I think that's important to acknowledge. And okay, yes, you can place the citations in the fine print of your slides. Absolutely. You're also welcome to have a reference slide at the end. Your conclusion is the landing point to leave your audience feeling positive toward you and the idea's chance for success. Okay, avoid ending with a pitch, of course, obviously, and it could entail a call to action. So again, you can start by writing a script, and for some of you, it ends there, and you'll read the script. That's perfectly fine. That's awesome. But do this, present this in a way that feels natural to you. You should use slides. That's actually a requirement, that you have some kind of visual. Maybe I've received some emails from students asking if they can create animations, telling the story in the form of like a creative video. That's totally awesome. I think that's great. Be creative. That's what this capstone is for. But you should have some kind of visual, and I think that's important. Or if you wanted to be on the main screen and then just point to ideas, kind of like Dr. Roach does using Prezi, that's awesome. Do note that tools like Canva have really great open source stock photography. that you can use in your talk as well. So that might be something that you might want to implement so that your talk can be more reachable to the audiences. They give advice on slides, but of course you've already had some experience with this in the course. And as I've said before, keep it simple. Okay, I use as little text as possible. This is again something that we've talked about a lot in the course. And I highly suggest if you have headers, your headers should, you could consider them coming across as a statement. Instead of saying methodology, for instance, you would say something like long reads enabled better classification, right? Like something that actually creates the point and generates some meaning for your audience. Make use of that space rather than just a summation of something that isn't really that specific to the point you're trying to make. Okay. Rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. That's great advice for anybody. And of course, this is only 3 to 5 minutes. So there's a little bit of pressure to make sure you meet that time constraint, but don't feel shy about recording it several times and picking your best shot, right? And the clock is important because you don't want to go over 5 minutes. And again, it is up to you. If you don't feel comfortable being featured on the video and having that kind of presence, then find other ways to make your talk compelling. And savor the glory. The reason that I like this a lot is it does speak to the point that you should celebrate that you are leaning into one of your own microbiome curiosities and that you've done enough research and free learning to really understand this topic to a point where you can communicate it to somebody who is not an expert in the microbiome, not a scientist, possibly not even one of your peers, even though that is the audience here. You want this to be reachable to other people. And I think that once you've reached a certain level of understanding where you can communicate that, that's really cool, transferable science and something to be celebrated and be proud of. Okay, so now I want to talk about where we are for the rest of the semester. Okay, so let's quickly go over where we're heading in the last couple of weeks of our time together this semester. Okay, I'll share my screen. And here we go. So module 13, the animal microbiome, there is so much that we can talk about here, but in the interest of your capstone being due on the 14th, we made the decision for this module to be rather sparse. So you will have some reading that will be assessed on the quiz and a short video. I would love to do a lot more, but again, really think it's important to protect as much of your time as possible to you delivering the best capstone that you can. So although we already had a dedicated work week, module 13 will mostly be a work week as well, just to help support you and to facilitate your talk. Okay, so there will be some reading and there will be a short video, but it won't be as extensive. Quiz 5 will open on Friday. No surprise there, it's posted on the syllabus. Your capstone is due April 14th, and again, it's just a 3 to 5 minute video. All right, so quiz, 3 to 5 minute video. Then you'll notice there are 2 reflections that are outstanding. So these will be short, just a quick reflection. You'll get credit as long as you answer the prompt. That's all you have to do, answer the prompt. The 3rd reflection will come right after you submit the capstone, just asking you to reflect on that experience. And the very last reflection will be at the end of the course. It's separate from Gator evals, it's separate from all of that, but I just want to discuss what skills do you feel you've been able to tap into in this course? How was the experience? We really try to lean into active engagement. How did that go for you? Those kinds of things. And I really do hope that that this will also help you to reflect before you go into your Gator evals, and you can think about and be in the right mindset for, okay, what are all the cool things that I've accomplished this semester? And what are some things that I think I'm taking away from this course? Okay, so again, as long as you answer the prompts and you submit it on time, full credit. Finally, there's one last perusal, which is your virtual capstone engagement. No surprises there. This is on the syllabus. And I will post, there will likely be 2 deadlines, as we saw that was the most successful outcome from the perusal, with having 2 different deadlines, so we don't wait until the end to post and interact with one another. So this will come live on the 15th, no, on the 16th of April. That will come live, because I'm going to take the 15th and the 16th to integrate the 2 content videos into perusal and divide them up into the groups. Okay. And again, you don't have to watch 200 videos. You're only going to have a subset available to you. All right. So there will be that. And again, no surprises. That's on the syllabus. Quiz 6 is optional, right? Because we do drop your lowest quiz. So if you want to be done after that, you're done. If you want to better your chances and try to take another quiz, or maybe you didn't do so well on one of your quizzes, or you missed a quiz, then there you go. There's quiz 6, and that date is listed in the syllabus as well. That's it. So this will be short. Mod 13. Quiz 5 opens, stays open a week, your capstone. Do very short reflections on everything you've done this semester, and you engage in your virtual capstone. And that's it, unless of course you want to take quiz 6, which will be cumulative. Now, to end this talk, I just want to again recapitulate a few notes about the capstone. This is all the guidance, the module, everything that you need to be successful is there. The only thing that's missing is a platform, the portal for you to go in and submit. So I'll have that up on the next day or so for those who have worked ahead and already have it ready. You can submit anytime. So the keynotes here are, number 1, it's only 5 minutes, nothing more, and no less than 3. That's it, 5 minutes. Number 2, pick a topic that you care about. It should be something that really resonates with you. You're welcome to pick the same topic that you used in your journal club, because you already did a lot of work for that. It's up to you. And don't be afraid to take some risks and get creative and maybe diversify and explore an area that you haven't had a lot of license to explore in other classes. Just pick something that you really care about. Number 3, use the literature to your advantage. You've already provided 3 articles that you feel you could use in this talk. And the basis of that, the bottom line up front, you just need 2 more. Obviously, that can evolve. Maybe you decide that you want a new topic and you want to forget what you wrote about in that scaffolding assignment. That's perfectly fine. It was an exercise meant to help you to prepare and to keep you accountable during that work week. So you should have at least 5 scientific articles. They can be review articles, they can be primary research, but 5 articles in your references that you use in the talk, because it does need to be evidence-based and not just opinion. Number 4, remember the aim here is to reach people. Just scientists, but people. You should connect, ask your talk accordingly around the question of why does this matter? Okay. Some have really leaned into the animal microbiome, others in bioremediation and pollution, others in soil, others in agriculture, others in mental health. Be careful about being too broad, because you only get 5 minutes. So you want to make sure that everything connects in your talk in some way, right? If you try to go way too broad, then you dilute your message. So I would suggest, as you're brainstorming and as the talk is coming together, you might refine your topic. You might refine your title for your talk, so that you can make sure that your message is very clear. And it's not just, oh, here's everything that's known about mental health and the microbiome. Like, that's not necessarily as powerful. So just be very intentional and thoughtful about how you approach the scope of your question, since you only have 5 minutes. And along those lines, I want you to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Be thoughtful, be sparing in your slides, in what you say. Make sure that you make the most of those 3 to 5 minutes. And that doesn't mean talking on double or triple speed. That just means making sure that what you include is absolutely necessary to your point. Okay, and that's all I have for you on the capstone. There will be a portal available for those who have already worked ahead and you want to submit early, you're welcome to. I look forward to watching your videos. I'm here if you need me. Just let me know. I've dedicated a lot of time this week in case you have questions or we need an office hour. Just shoot me an email. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.